seconds.
DJ Immortal, live in the mix.
All right, Outlaw Radio Live fans, we are live on the air with the West Coast legend. We have Mac Mall on the line. How you doing this evening?
Man, what's up with it, man? What's happening? Mr. MAC, y'all, Mr. MAC Mall in the building.
First, before we get into this quickly, I do want to say, Mac, I've been a huge fan for a very long time, so I am really grateful that you chose to give me some of your time, man. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, respect. It's nothing, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, you're most certainly welcome. But I'm going to start off from the beginning, man. I have to ask you, what made Mac Mall decide to get into the music industry?
I mean, man, music was such a big part of my life, man, ever since I was little, you know what I mean? From my mother, from my aunties, you know what I mean, playing music, playing blues. From my mother playing the funk in our house every, weekend when she cleaning up. And from the time I discovered hip-hop, you know what I mean, it's just I fell in love, you feel me? That was my way, the way they communicated touched me, you know what I mean, the most. And at the time, I was a little kid who used to stutter. So through rap, I was even able to communicate.
And also, that's actually really, really cool, that you actually found a way to communicate and, you know what I mean? You took that, thing that you had and then you kind of turned it into a positive, man. That's what's up.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It was definitely a blessing.
And also, you signed with Young Black Brother Records, and then later on came to own that label. I have to ask you, how did that record deal come to be for you, and what made you decide to buy out that label?
Oh, actually, I don't own Young Black Brother. I was able to buy back 50% of the masters of those records that I did over there. You know what I mean? So that's how I became an owner on that point. I was able to get back my masters. You know what I mean? But I started at what was in the beginning. It was strictly business records. That's where the Mac and Mac Dre came out, and I guess the producer, he wanted to go independent. He wanted to do his own thing, so we started Young Black Brother after Mac Dre went to the federal pen.
And that's pretty cool, though. Not a lot of individuals in the music industry, especially in the 90s, really had the opportunity to actually own their masters, man. So that's actually a really huge accomplishment.
Yeah, man, I'm blessed, man. I own 50% or 100% of every record that I ever put out. That's why, for those who support Mac Mall, you actually support me.
And also, in 1993, you released your debut album, Illegal Business. I'm going to have to ask you, what's the story and inspiration behind that iconic record?
I mean, it was just, at that time, I was still in high school, you know what I mean, a young kid, out there running wild with the crew. And everything, and those raps was just like, man, bits and pieces of my whole life at that time. Just like every one of my records is. It's just a look at my life at that particular time. And Legal Business was just everything that I was going through, everything that I was seeing and experiencing. I put it on wax.
And I have to say, that particular record is one of my absolute favorites. It's from front to back, you can't go wrong with one song.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And also in 94, you did a video for your song called Ghetto Theme that was actually directed by the late, great Tupac. I have to ask you, what was it like working with Tupac, and how did you guys both get connected?
I actually met Tupac at an E40 video. And I had seen Pac before at different shows, like a Mac Dre show in Marin. A Mac Dre show in Vallejo and Marin. I had saw Tupac. But I actually got to talk to him at the Practice Looking Hard video. And I went up to him, told him who I was, and like I say in my book, my opinion, he already knew who I was. So it was like that introduction went cool, and he told me, like, man, straight up, I want to do something with you. And it just so happened that me and him, his old manager, Layla Steinberg, was my new manager.
Oh, nice. So you actually were managed by Layla Steinberg?
Yeah, man, for 10 years.
That's actually really cool. I've never known that. That's
my
actually really cool.
manager through a long time, man. She was my manager for sure. And she still is family.
And when Tupac actually directed your music video, if you don't mind me asking, because as everybody knows, Tupac loved things to be perfect. Like, was he really like hard on the video? Did he really want perfection on that video when he was directing it?
Oh, definitely. It was like, man, basically, Tupac did the video for the cost of the video. He didn't charge me. He picked out the crew. He picked out the locations. He wrote the treatment. He did everything. All it was me. All I had to do was just come. You know what I mean? But he already laid it all out. He was just professional like that. And I'm just blessed, that dude put me up under his wing.
And also, you guys did a song as well with E40 and Spice One called Dusted and Disgusted. I have to ask you, what was it like doing that song with Tupac, E40, and Spice One?
Spice One and Richie Rich. Was Rich on there? Yeah. But anyway, it was dope because I actually wasn't supposed to be on that song, you know what I mean? But Tupac had actually gave me his bars and allowed me to get on that song, the Bay Area Classic.
That's actually really cool that he actually gave you that opportunity.
Yeah, Pac had a big heart, man. He was definitely a loving person.
And also, in 1996, you were a part of the Red Hot organization's completion CD called America is Dying Slowly to raise awareness for AIDS. How did you end up on that project, and what was it like working alongside other legendary individuals like yourself?
Man, it was, another thing. I think Layla hooked that up, you know what I mean? And, AIDS and HIV, our communities have been touched by it, so I definitely wanted to jump in with the rest of the people and, lend my support to the cause.
And, back in those days, AIDS was such a really, really big thing, so the fact that you guys actually did something like that to help raise awareness is actually a really, really good thing.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It was my honor and my pleasure.
And also, as you mentioned earlier, that you work with the legendary Mac Dre, I have to ask you, how did you and him get connected? What's the story behind you two meeting?
Dre is my big cuddy. We all from the same neighborhood, the Country Club Crest. You know what I mean? I'm a third generation Mac. You know what I mean? Where it's the Mac Dre, and then it's me. So he's my cuddy. He's not originally from the Crest, but he came there in his early, preteens or whatever. And, they formed the Romper Room, which was a lot of them cats was my relatives and cats that's like my big brothers. And we basically, he's my cuddy. We basically grew up together. He's like my big brother. You feel me? So it was just natural. You know what I mean? They gave me my name because they saw talent in me young, and it was just one of those things, the neighborhood thing.
And I also saw on your Instagram as well that there's actually Mac Dre drinks out there as well that people can buy as well.
Yeah, they got the Mac Dre soda. They got Mac Dre beers. You know what I mean? It's a lot of dope stuff.
Did you actually help create that, or is that just something that you're associated with?
Oh, something I'm definitely associated with, but it's like that's something that his mom and his mother feel me in that state.
Would you be able to let our listeners know quickly, where we can actually get some Mac Dre beer or soda?
I would say, man, get on Google and Google it. You know what I mean? You can find the different spots that have it, or you can get the information to buy it online.
And also, your song Perfect Poison was featured in the video game called Skate. I have to ask you, how does it feel knowing your music is in a video game?
I mean, it's dope because we have a lot of our fans, you know what I mean, from my fans, Magmar, Young Black Brother fans, and also our Tia's fans. They are skateboarders, you know what I mean, and me, you know what I mean. I like to skateboard and I like the people, and it was actually, I mean, I forget dude's name, man. His name was Michael something, and he actually, I feel bad because I don't remember his name, but he requested my song. You know what I mean? And that Skate is such an iconic video game because it started something. You know what I mean?
Most definitely. I really do think they need to make a number 4, man. They stopped at 3, and I was kind of sad because I'm a gamer myself, and I most definitely shredded a lot of rails to your music.
Word up. Respect.
And also, a couple years ago, you actually released your own autobiography called My Opinion. I have to ask you, what made you decide to write a book based on your life? And also, where can our listeners buy themselves a copy?
Okay, first of all, you can get a copy of my book, My Opinion, on Amazon right now. Magmar, My Opinion, check it out. It's a great read. That book actually came, man, from tragedy. You know what I mean? I had got into a bad car accident, me and Ray Love, and actually lost one of my friends, rest in peace, Kato. He died in my arms. At the time, when they let us out the hospital, my body was fucked up, you know what I mean? But my mind was racing because just the experience of having somebody breathe their last breath in your arms, mess you up mentally. So as I couldn't move, I was just stranded, stuck in my body, and thinking about these things. I couldn't close my eyes because every time I did, I would see him gasping for air. So I had to do something. And, you know, I've been reading since I've been 5 years old. I always loved the written word. You feel me? So I just grabbed the pen, man, and I want to figure out how did I get into this situation right here? How did I get here? In this bed with 18 staples in my head, can't close my fucking eyes, you know what I mean? Because I'm haunted, you know what I mean? How did I get here? So what I did is, it's like I always do, I grabbed a pen and a pad, I just started writing from the beginning of my life to this situation that I'm in right here, laying in this bed. And actually, through doing that, it was like therapy for me, and it helped me so much. So by the time that I was done, you know, scribing the books, it was like I had, I had exercised all my demons, you feel me?
And I have to say, man, that, you know, I do want to say my condolences to your friend. I really am sorry. That's not an easy thing to go through, man. So my sincere condolences.
Thank you. Thank you, brother.
And also, your newest project that I currently saw on your Instagram description is called FYM, that you did alongside Sugar Wolf. I have to ask you, what's the inspiration behind that, and where can our listeners snag themselves a copy of that as well?
Well, first of all, FYM is on iTunes right now and all other music platforms. Doobie is from our crew, another Crest-Eye Cuddy. You know what I mean? Dude that just came home from the Feds indictment. You know what I mean? Feds did some bullshit. Just came home. Cuddy got heat, so we decided, you know, this would be the perfect time for me and him to actually drop our joint record. You know what I mean? We both from the 535 crew. We both 50 sets. So it was like, it's time. You know what I mean? We came out with the Cutthroat Committee record back a couple years ago. And we decided, man, it's time for us to do the record with me and him. So that was just one of the first songs that we decided to release. And you can get that on iTunes.
And I have to say, that song is a complete slapper. So I suggest everybody make sure you buy it, or you most definitely stream it today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And also, when I was doing my research for this interview, you also have your own weed business. Can you tell us a bit more about that, and how our listeners can go about buying some of your products?
The weed business, you know what I mean? Right now, we have one situation that we're just doing, and I would just tell everybody to look out for the new stuff that I'm going to do with a new line that I'm coming with. That old one did its thing, but now I'm on to bigger and better.
And when you do have the bigger and better come out, do you ever think you're going to merge into Canada? Because I do know that here in Canada, weed just became illegal in the past couple of years.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to get out there, man. I got so much love for Canada, you know what I mean? So much love, you know, I love the people, and I love y'all states too, so I'm definitely going to try to get it out there.
I think you'll make a hell of a lot of business down here in Canada. We love our marijuana.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I also saw via Instagram that you have some merchandise available as well, like shirts and T-shirts. I have to ask you, where can our listeners buy some of those merchandise?
First of all, shout out to my folks at Dirty Dollar Clothing. You know what I mean? Me and him hooked up, and we did the Definition line. And I did a Definition T-shirt, hoodie, and beanie of Cuddy. You know what I mean? To basically break down what Cuddy means. Also did a Definition T-shirt and hoodie of Mac and Yada Da Mean and Trill. And that's available at www.com. And it's a lot of other dope clothes on there, too. That's something I just wanted to give back to the fans, because people always want to know, you know, how we say our words and what's the definition. So I came out with the line.
So I have to ask you, Mac, what's next for you? Is there any other things you want to promote while we still have you on the air? Any new projects in the works?
Yeah, man. The me and Sugar Wolf Camp, me and Doobie record, original Crest-Siders, you know what I mean? We're wrapping that up now, so be on the lookout for that. Definitely go get that FYM, you know what I mean, on iTunes and any other streaming platforms. Also, check out that My Opinion book at Amazon. Make sure you get that clothing, that Definition line at www.dirtydollar.com. Also, follow me, man. Follow all my social network pages, you know, The Real Mac Mall, at The Real Mac Mall. You know what I mean? Facebook, Mac Mall Music. And just stay hip, man. Stay tuned to Tears.
And so, Mac Mall, this is the time in the interview that I give a chance for the individual that comes on, just a chance to give shout-outs to whomever they want to give shout-outs to. And I know you just gave your social media handles, but if you can, just drop those one more time. That way we can make sure our listeners can shoot you a follow.
Yeah, man. Check me out on Instagram. Check me out on Twitter. At the real Mac Mall. TheMacMall. You know what I mean? Get at me, man. Talk to me. I'll talk back.
And I gotta say, Mac, thank you so much for coming up on the show. I've been a huge fan for so long, man. So, again, I do want to say thank you, and most definitely stay safe through these crazy times.
Oh, no doubt. You too, man. Hey, shout out to the whole Canada, you know what I mean? Shout out to Outlaw Radio, man. Much love. Thank you for having me, man. And I'm going to holler at y'all. Y'all be cool.
Most definitely, brother. Have yourself a wonderful night. Thank you again.
You too, man. Peace.